they don't expect love when they get married to a Winterthorne husband, but this was unexpected.
And I think that, how many times have we seen that where in film and television where the female characters are expected to marry for the family or to marry up or to marry for money to get into a good family. It's all it is a role reversal, simply saying that, men are now put in the same situation that women have always been put in. And now the tables are turned. And I think that's something, you hit on a note, a very pervasive element of the series is Miranda and her section of the Winterthorne family. There are 5 Winterthorne sisters, and this first season really details Miranda Winterthorne's section of this family, and they're very defiant when it comes to what they believe, and it's very controversial within the family because it's not normal and it's not accepted within the family that love does come first, and that doesn't go over very well. And I won't go into any more than that because I don't want to ruin it. But sure. I think that it's a really interesting examination on the choices that we make and why do we love the people that we love. It's not always based on looks. Sometimes you fall in love with people and there's something much, much deeper there that you can't escape from. And I love that concept of love, that we fall in love with the person that is best suited for us, and sometimes you have to make a lot of sacrifices to follow through with that.
Right. Absolutely. And you got a wonderful cast on this show. We were talking about that earlier, and this obviously was the hugest coup I could ever imagine, was to see the name Linda Gray just like drop when it was first announced. And I was just sitting there going like, you got Sue Ellen Ewing.
We did. And believe me, we worked hard to get Sue Ellen Ewing. We really worked hard. Linda is easily one of the nicest people I've ever worked with. She is so gentle and sweet and kind and just, she's so grateful for her career. And, it's so nice when you meet somebody and they have gratitude for what they have in life. And that kind of level of gratitude is just inspiring to be around. And she's gorgeous. You want to talk about a woman aging gracefully?
Oh, absolutely.
Mary, Mother of God. She is as beautiful as ever. It's just astounding to me. The woman is flawless, and she's in her premiere episode. She plays Joanna Winterthorne, Miranda's mother, and she and Martha was so excited when we cast Linda. She freaked out. She's like, "Oh my God, you got Linda Gray!" And she was so happy, and seeing that happiness, we have been so blessed with this cast, working with Kirsten Storms and working with Catherine Dotsey and working with John Paul Lavassi and my old buddy Gordon Thompson, who I adore and always want to work with, and new faces like Josh Thrower, who plays our son on the show, and having Kevin Spiritus play a delightfully, deliciously villainous character. It's really, I'm really, really excited to show people what our cast is going to do. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that there are some built-in soap moments that is. I wouldn't say that Winterthorne is a campy show at all. There's some light moments and there's drops of camp, but DeVanity was like an ultra campy show, and Winterthorne's very different from that perspective. But we do have some fun with Kirsten and Martha in the same scene playing sisters. We definitely take a moment to acknowledge that. And it's very, very fun when that happens. And I think soap fans will really enjoy that moment.
It's hilarious. Even you saying it, I'm chuckling to myself because when we heard that Kirsten was coming onto the show, it's like the two Bell Blacks are going to be on the same show working together. So it was a nice little thing.
It's a nod and it's an homage. Soaps have that unique thing where, recasting is just, it happens all the time. And you've never, I don't recall, and I could be wrong, but I don't think anybody's ever really had a scene in a soap opera where you've got the original portrayer and the recast playing family members in the same scene. I might be wrong. It might have happened somewhere. I don't know anything off the top of my head. So it's really when you take that moment to acknowledge, like, we've got both of the Bells in this scene together, and it's, and I will give you like a tiny little spoiler that, you know, on Monday,
a little bit, just
when
a little
you go to winterthorne.com,
Yes.
you will get a little taste of something of that effect.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. We're going to have to see that. That's going to be fun. Oh, my God, yeah. I'm so into that. I mean, seriously, I was. And it's – how did you get into Kirsten and Kathleen's orbit when you cast them on the show? They're both on General Hospital. They both play fan favorites on that show. They're both popular in their General Hospital roles. How did you get into their graces?
You know, I have to give credit to Martha Madison. Martha came on as an executive producer. Steve Silverman and Jim Pinella, the executive producers, and Steve is the creator of Pretty. We had a wonderful behind-the-scenes team of people that really, you know, we all pooled our resources. I wanted Kirsten for the role very, very much, and Martha went to Kirsten, and they're friends in real life, you know, and they really have, you know, a fondness for each other, and they're both new moms, relatively new moms, and you know, and Martha kind of made the introductions, and then we sent the script over, and Kirsten liked the script, and when Kirsten committed to it, then I kind of tailored it a little bit more specifically to her and Martha's history. So, you know, I absolutely give Martha credit for that. And then Kathleen, Martha reached out to Debbie O'Connor, who is the head of Your Number One Fan, and she reps a lot of very famous substars in their fan clubs, and she represents Kathleen in that arena. And Martha reached out to Debbie O'Connor, who also reps Martha for the fan club stuff, and they made the introductions with Kathleen, and sent the script to Kathleen, and Kathleen loved the part, and she accepted it, and the rest is history. So, I mean, everybody really worked together to make this happen, and it's really flattering. You know, Martha really believed in the material, and she was really excited by it, and she really put herself out there and went to these people and said, this is going to be great. You don't have to worry, you know, and she really endorsed the project from the very beginning, and really put her weight behind it. And that really meant a lot. So, you know, all of our producers have been fabulous. Steve and Jim really, you know, they spearheaded everything that we shot up in the mountains. They got us fabulous locations, and, you know, they would drive in from Palm Springs to the set when we were filming, and, you know, they were just, they really, you know, everybody has given 150%. And when you watch Winterthorne, no matter what you think of it ultimately, it is a show that is made with love. And that sounds super cheesy to say, but it is a show that is from top to bottom. Everybody really put everything they had into it. And it's a web series. We have X amount of dollars. We have relatively limited resources. So I said I would rather make 4 really well-crafted episodes than 8 or 12 episodes that aren't really conveying the opulence and the magic of this story. You know, all of the candy that we use in the show is real. We have no fake candy. And people would say to me, well, you know, use fake candy. You know, it'll be easier. It'll be whatever. And I'm like, no, you don't get it. I want to take we get these fabulous actors. I want to literally drop them into this world that we're building from the ground up and give them something real to play with. I don't want to do special effects. I don't want to do green screen. We constructed a field of lollipops. We constructed a field of candy canes. We filled a room with 5,000 marshmallows. We did all of that in real life to really make these people believe that this family is a real family that lives in kind of this fantastical Gothic world. It's a modern world, but it's a fantasy. And I think we really achieved that, and it's something that I'm really proud of, and that's something that we all did together as a team.
Your cinematography on DeVanity was no joke. I mean, it really looked like it was a film. So if it's anything like that, plus, or times 1,000, I should say, in this show, I have no doubts it's going to look fantastic.
That's all Rod Fortier. You know, and Rod was my cinematographer for 4 years on DeVanity, and we were able to make schedules work out and everything. And he came back on board with Winterthorne, and I think it was nice because it's a completely different color palette. There's, pinks and blues and greens and candy colors. And I think he was excited. And, we film a lot in the city, but we also film a lot in the forest and the Winterthorne offices. We filmed in this penthouse in the penthouse offices of this architecture studio in downtown LA.
Okay.
So there's a lot of visual fun in this show, and he's just, I can't say enough about him. He is somebody that I hope to work with for a very long time. He puts his heart and soul into everything, and he's it's over the years you see producers and directors working with the same people over and over again, and I think that he really speaks my language, and we've reached that point where he knows what I want. He knows what I'm going to say, and he just does it. He's like, all right, I know what you're saying. I have 2 requests. Make it look pretty and try to make me not look fat, and we're good to go. He's better at the first thing than the other thing, but I can't completely blame him for the second thing. My favorite Rod story is during DeVanity. I said to him once, I pulled him to the side, and I go, and Rod is French. He's very dry, and he's hilarious. And I go, is there a way to kind of make me look a little thinner? And he looked at me just stone-faced, and he goes, do we have money in the budget for a helicopter shot?
That's awesome.
And I should have been pissed, but I couldn't stop laughing because that's what you get for being vain. That's what you get for being narcissistic on your own show. You get bitch slapped by your cinematographer. And it was brilliant. I loved it. I thought it was so funny. I'll get him back one day, but I did think it was funny.
If I said that to you, you would just look at me and be like, where's my shank at? I mean,
I wouldn't even ask. You'd be dead.
This is exactly true. There would be no hesitation whatsoever. But if I were to drop something like that, I would basically just have to have everybody speak at my eulogy tomorrow. So that's how that rolls.
Listen, I'm a good sport about it in the sense that I always written.
I'm sorry.
You have to be when you are the way you are. But I've always written myself. I've never written myself as the sexy guy, you know what I mean? I don't put myself in those situations. I'm always, a different type of character. And I think that it's great to challenge yourself, but I think you also have to be realistic. John Paul Lavoisier is our hunk on the show, and he's, fantastic looking and all that great stuff. And he's a brilliant actor. I think he's so talented, it's obscene. I think I'm so excited to see what he and Martha do together on Days of Our Lives because, I got to kind of see it first on Winterthorne, and they have phenomenal chemistry with each other. And I think that the Days audience is in for a real treat, and I'm hoping that everybody really gives him a chance as that character and really supports him and supports for a return. I think that everybody needs to really, back Days and really just let them show what they're doing. Let them show what they got, and let these actors do their jobs and show the world that they're really gifted people. Because I believe in them, and I think everybody else should too.
I keep forgetting that not only was John Paul on the show as Philip, but Philip and Belle had that history. So when you said that, I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot that they were.
Well, he wasn't. The original Philip was J. Kenneth Johnson. So
well, I mean, like the characters itself.
I know there's a lot of like 3 initial things happening with this character of Philip Kiriakis, but yeah, it's so funny because our director for Winterthorne, Sonia Blangiardo, fabulous director.
Absolutely.
She's directing over at Days. Martha's back at Days, and then they hire John Paul Lavoisier. So anybody out there, if you ever want to be on Days of Our Lives, come and work for me first, and you're pretty much a guarantee to get hired. I said to my wife the other day, I was like, the only fucking person who's not getting hired by Days of Our Lives is me, and I think that's a little unfair.
I was going to say the same thing. I was like, so no one's called you yet? Like, no one's made you
exactly.
an offer?
Like, with my luck, they'll be like, do you want to be the Will recast? I'll be like, great, sure.
Yeah, what a way to make Sammy feel really old. So
I know. That would go over like a ton of bricks. Don't worry, it's not going to happen. Everybody's safe. keep playing with my candy over here and crying myself to sleep.
That's it. I feel for you. I
Stick
really
with what
do.
you know what I mean?
And speaking of stick with what you know, I have a feeling that you're going to be seen in a psych ward soon.